What's up? So I did finish the pond, and I will add more things as time goes on, as I want to add more slate rocks around the edges, as I'll show you more fish, more plants, etc. But first I want to explain some of the complications. We had to fill up the pond and then drain it and then fill it up again because the liner wasn't correctly set the first time. And the reason for that is because where I built it. Now, if I had built it on a flat piece of land, like just completely flat, and had dug the dimensions, it would have been a lot easier. However, I was in a corner between two walls of my house and had a tree on one side and then had a dirt on the other. So getting the liner to like perfectly sit where we knew how much the water was going to take up, like in terms of space against the dirt and the wall, etc. It was very difficult, but after draining it and then refilling it and moving the liner a bit, we were able to successfully get the pond liner to where we wanted it. There are some still things that I might change in the future, and I'm going to show you them now. So let's walk over to the pond. And the way where I built it was on the side of my house, and as I've shown you guys in other videos, that it is outside my window, and I do feed the fish from my window. And I did add the Oscar cichlid, the goldfish, the koi, the danios, which actually have started breeding, and the mollies. So we are here at the pond, and as you can see, there's the goldfish, the koi, and it's kind of hard to see there's the mollies, and the danios are a bit darker in color, so it's a little bit harder to see them. But let me take a step back so you can see how the pond is. So here is where it drains if it overflows, which it does when the auto water change happens. I am going to put plants there so fish don't overflow, because when it does rain it can be higher. But I do have all these slate rocks on the edges. Another issue was the side over here was not level, so I had to put some cinder blocks in so we could walk on them, because standing on here is not like stable enough to support people, and I didn't want anyone to fall in or get hurt. But I got some driftwood pieces, and there's the overflow there. I want to like make a lot nicer because the liner is all jumbled up. And how we did this side was, this is a 2x4 by 8, I believe, or 10, one of the dimensions, that we attached the liner to with some screws and washers, and the same thing for this side to support this end. And as you can see on this edge, it got very close, but I had set the drainage to be a little bit lower, so we shouldn't have any issue. And if I take you around to where like my idea for this filter was, so I do have a filter down there, this box in there, but I don't think that was enough. So I made this tub filter with some volcanic rock, which is super porous and should make anaerobic bacteria, this rock and this rock. I do have some plants growing in here and overflowing. You can probably hear the water. A little baby danio did get in here, and I don't know how, but it's pretty cool. Hopefully you guys can hear me well enough. And if I can get you guys close enough, or if you can see them over here, there are some baby fish, baby danios slowly moving around. The mollies have yet to breed, or I've yet to see any baby mollies, but I was surprised that the danios bred. As you can see on the top of the water, they just swim around. So they must have laid their eggs, fallen to the bottom, and hatched out. That's how danios like have their babies, is with egg scattering. And then here's a little waterfall. This I do want to like cover up as much as possible with more slate rock. And as you guys know, in my Tropheus tank I have slate rock in there, which is one of the things I want to change. One thing I also did notice is that this did bring a lot of frogs, and a lot of frogs. Some frogs are a real pest and scream throughout the night, and I do sleep by the pond, so that has become somewhat of an issue. I'm sorry for the dog barking and lawnmowers, because it is the summer and there is a lot of activity. But before I added a lot of the fish, some frogs and tadpoles spawned, or the frogs had the tadpoles, and there was like thousands of tadpoles in the pond. Every night there are like 5 or 10 frogs that come around, sit around the pond. I don't mind the toads or the tree frogs. It is this one type of frog that tends to scream and screech for like hours on end, and it is very annoying at night. So we had captured it and relocated it, because I do like live by a forest. But there's another one now that I don't know where he lives or she lives, and hopefully we can find it and relocate it as well. The tadpoles were great food for the fish, as they have eaten most of the, or ate most of the tadpoles, which is fine. And the fish do eat the mosquitoes, if people were wondering about that. But yeah, the pond is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. I want to get more fish in. I don't know, you know, these fish are kind of like my test fish. Not to say like I don't care about them any less, or but these are like hardy fish that I knew would make it out here. And the Oscar cichlid is somewhere in here, and he's been doing well hunting for mosquitoes and bugs and things like that, which I thought was really cool. I do have another pump right here that just takes the water and pushes it over there to create better flow, which allows oxygenation of the water, helps, you know, turn the water over, move it around, things like that, which is very essential. The pond does get some sunlight throughout the day, depending on the season and time of day. Right now it is just very cloudy up in the sky. There's my dog Peanut, and the other dog that you can probably hear barking is Mia, and she's inside. But I'm sorry about that. So plans, I have been wanting an arowana for a long time. This pond can hold an arowana for most of its life, I believe, and I mean it's well over like 500 gallons. It is just the footprint that I get a little worried about when they get like to 4 or 3 feet big. But other than that, I think an arowana would be really cool in here. But I also want to do cichlids or mollies more, or guppies, or breed something. I don't know yet, guys, what I want to do with it, but it's just like I'm just letting it naturally happen, seeing what's happening with the fish. Clearly they're breeding and enjoying the pond and eating. That's like most of them are full, even if I don't feed them, or even if I do feed them, I mean. But like it is just, it's very pretty, and it's nice to see outside my window. But like as you can see over here, there's like pieces of wood that I gotta still cover, and I of course want to cover this cinder blocks, as it's not natural looking, and I want to get more like natural plants. I did put a lily bulb all the way down at the bottom, which is hard to see, but moss has fallen in, which allowed the fish to spawn, things like that. So it's very natural and pretty nice. Maybe you guys should leave some suggestions. I do live in a tropical climate, so quite a bit of fish can survive in that pond. I'm sorry about